the information. So we have all these people wanting to participate. We have all this energy, but right now it's very nebulous. It's not, it hasn't formed. It hasn't formed into a crystal. It's still fluid, and so we need to solidify a lot of this stuff in a way that we don't have to really push it anymore. But right now we have to do some work with it to get it into the right shape so then it crystallizes correctly, is how I'm currently seeing it. And so a lot of that has to do with getting everybody coming on board, getting them up to speed on what it is that we, one, are attempting to do. That's very important. And two, what it is that we currently have. So keeping people engaged, keeping them informed, allowing them to participate in the process, even if that participation is simply being aware of what is taking place. So having a level of transparency and authenticity in what we are doing, because the goal is to ignite the sovereignty of the individual coming together. So we don't want drones, we don't want robots, we don't want people that are just following directions not knowing why. We want full awakened sovereignty so we can come together and shift everything. And so what that requires is people being willing to be sovereign, to have responsibility, to be like, okay, this is how, this is what I need to do to participate. This is what needs done. And it's the people like us that we need to be clear on what it is that actually needs to be done. So right now there seems to be we're in a lot of different channels. We're in all these different Facebook channels. We have Slack. We have, things that I'm not even involved in. So there's so many different channels of communication. So I think one of the things we need to do is consolidate that a bit, get a routine, build up the habit of just showing up, persistently, consistently at a routine time, even if it's, twice a week. And having these kind of things, engaging with each other face to face, and so we can all kind of start to harmonize at the same level and be like, yeah, this is where we're at, this is what we're doing, this is the next step, and keep that flow going.
Well put, brother. Words out of my own mouth. Beautifully said.
You and I are definitely aligned. I know that.
Quite.
Sorry, I didn't have my mic. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I didn't have my mic set up, so I just got it set up.
Great. Thanks for being in the conversation, Mido. I wanted to respond to what our brother Sirik has said in the consolidation of our channels. So in practice, and our last practice round of this kind of movement actually included over 200 people about 3 or 4 months ago. So we have a good bit of practice with this. The hardcore team can be like trained, so to speak, or self-trained to show up for Slack, but everyone else will not. So just knowing that and knowing that we need to keep a presence on Facebook, but basically it does make the most sense for those of us that are like really here for this and want to lead the shift. We should totally move over to Slack. So yeah, definitely our coordinators and our team leaders, I'd say yes to moving to Slack and setting our notifications. That's how we really stay on the same page with each other when our phones ding, just like the Facebook Messenger chat does when we're talking to each other. And everything else you said was super on point, and thanks for being here. And everyone else who showed up for this chat here. Does anyone have a question they want to throw in?
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I'd love to do it over Slack. So we already have so is it going to be another hashtag, another thread kind of thing, or do you want to go through texting or?
We have a Slack channel already, and yeah, just using that. We can use general conversation for now. We can make new channels if we need to.
We should make a keys channel.
There is one. Yep.
There's a keys channel?
Yeah, there's a keys collective channel. Brett made it.
Okay, cool.
I would like to see the general conversation chat used a little more until that's like there's too much going on there, and then we can like sub-delineate. But basically, it's really nice for people who are looking at our team chat to like see that there's stuff going on without having to pop into like one of the hidden channels.
Well, I think for at least the ambassadors or just coordinators, for the coordinators to use some form of group chat. It can still be open for viewing, but not necessarily but to be used, because honestly, yeah, sometimes the Facebook chat, it just feels like a lot of people that aren't really participating are in there. So we can keep that open maybe. And
Yeah, the general conversation. And many of our vote holders, quote unquote, aren't really fully active. I see you over there, Nikki. Yes, Keys Collective is public, and I will bring you into it right now. Yeah. There you go. You're in it. What's up, everyone? We got 12 people in this chat room. Thank you all so much for showing up. Kind of just want to open it up right now. If anyone else has a question they'd like to throw in, speak and be heard. How's it going?
Morning, Dakota.
What's up, Kelly? Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Hey, Kelly.
We're actually.
Hey, Dakota.
Hey, Destiny.
Oh,
Glad
hi,
you made it.
Kelly. You're logged in my account, Destiny.
I know. It automatically is logged in on my tablet from when I was doing the summit.
Ah, that's cool. I saw my face and I'm going, oh my gosh, that doesn't look like me.
Yeah, I know.
We're just doing the wave setup. I've got Graham with me.
Hey, Graham.
Hey, Dakota, how are you?
Very well. How are you?
Good, man.
Glad you made it.
Yeah, we're just playing with it this morning, and I've created the Waves account, our Waves account, and we were just literally in the process of going to transfer some Bitcoin to your account as per your instructions to your Bitcoin address.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Great. Yeah.
And then, so what I understand then is that you'll then somehow populate our Waves account or add something into our Waves account, which is then the keys that we can then use as currency to do stuff.
That's right.
Am I sort of on the right track?
Yep, you got it.
Cool.
And Dakota, that's currently done manually then, correct?
It is for the moment.
Okay. For the moment. And eventually we hope to have a system in place that becomes more of an automated thing, you know, possibly with review or whatever, but still, so it doesn't have to just be done.
It'll definitely be automated. It's about $2,000 to pay a blockchain developer to build in the automation we need to make it an instantaneous process.
Dakota, has Thomas got in contact with you?
Thomas who?
Thomas Miller, the guy that I sent you a connection with yesterday.
I think so, yes.
Okay, so he's a blockchain specialist, and I believe that he will definitely be able to assist in that space.
Cool. Yeah, we're calling in more tech help. Thanks for help bringing it in, Kelly.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely my pleasure. And I have a question. With the Waves account, can we actually attach a debit card platform to be able to access them, like the Zapo wallet?
No, they're going to have that. They don't have it yet, at least for dollars. I think they just did that for euros, actually. And that's your currency, actually, huh?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm getting a call. One sec. Yeah, I think you can. I think they just upgraded that like last week. You should check that out.
So what platform would you use?
For?
The debit card, or is it actually in the Waves platform that you can actually order the debit card in Euro?
Oh, okay. You're talking about not uploading money, but spending it once you have it, like a Bitcoin debit card.
Yeah.
They don't have that yet. They just added the ability to even upload euros to the account. Yeah, not quite there.
No, that's okay. We'll just our heads are just churning, going, okay, can it do that? Can it do that? What can it do? What can't it do? All that kind of stuff.
The coolest part that it can do is our tokens are tradable on a decentralized exchange that will be available through a web browser. Right now, it's only available through Waves platform, but that's a pretty nifty part of it, that we can buy and sell our currency right now through that exchange.
And so what exchange is that?
I forget the name of it. It's called something pretty cool. I can send it to you later. But right now it's built into Waves. I can just walk you through it for a sec if you want.
Okay. Do you want to?
So over here is where you control your assets. And this is our tokens remaining. Pretty easy transfer mechanism here. And then over here we go. This is the exchange. So we just put in, take a second to load every now and then. My internet here with all of the video scanning is a little bit slow.
So do we first change it over from keys to waves and then use the waves to then change it into another currency? Is that how it works?
You can actually change it from keys straight into Bitcoin or Litecoin or Dogecoin or other tokens or anything, as long as there's someone who wants to buy them. We've got a couple buy orders in here and some sell orders. Yeah, but right now we're actually not selling them for anything other than waves. I can change that pretty soon. But basically, we would prefer for people to buy them directly from us, which is why we're not selling them on the exchange for Bitcoin.
Why? So why do we have that preference?
Because then we don't have to pay their waves transfer fee. So it's small, but it's nice. Also, because cryptocurrency fluctuates in price so much, basically someone has to stay on top of it like 12 times a day and actually adjust all the prices. And every time we adjust it, we have to pay some waves currency. So when someone just sends in an order, we just look at the timestamp of when they sent us their money, and then we look at what both those currencies were worth at that time, and then we send it. It's just cheaper.
So I think I think the sovereign keys idea is all pending what's happening with the economy within the next couple of months. So I'm sure we all can feel that there's going to be a change, and first thing that's going to change, or first thing we're all feeling is going to change, is the economy, aka the money system. So I don't think we're sure, or the keys itself is sure what it's going to be based off. Is it going to be based off gold? Is it going to be based off just internet, just a set amount of, let's say, keys, and then those set amount of keys get spread out? I don't think the system. I don't think we fully understand how it's gonna play out.
Isn't the idea here? So rather than it being, it's based off of the. My current understanding, and Dakota, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's going to be based on the collective input of the. Wait, how is this not just another fiat currency?
Handful of differences. First, once we print our next round of coins, our keys, it's done. There's no more keys. So if we print 100 million, we got 100 million. If we do 200, we have 200. Second, the actual the value of our currency is based on what you can get for it. So in that regard, it's exactly like fiat currency. There's nothing like backing it except for all of the products and services that you can get with it. And that's kind of the name of the game of this revolution, is how can we get every single light worker to list themselves as a consultant and a freelancer and offer their services for keys? How can we get every sustainable eco community on board so people can live at eco communities across the world and experience festivals or workshops for their keys? And then at some point, reaching out to all of the businesses and all of the sustainable, ethical, cooperative products and services that we want can then be bought with keys. And I think in that order is where we're going to have the most success, because the businesses and the eco communities aren't going to sign on to receive keys unless they get something for the keys. But eco communities and businesses need to hire workers. So if we keep building our global network of freelancers and consultants that the businesses and the communities can then hire, that gives a reason for all of the communities to say, yes, I'll accept keys instead of cash or with cash. And then once we have a ton of communities and a bunch of freelancers, we go to the businesses and we tell them the same deal. They can host their businesses on our properties, they can expand their industries onto our lands, and they can hire our light workers to make their businesses expand and thrive. Another element we have is that once we have actual usage of it going on, these communities and these businesses will gain additional traffic from our exclusive keys global network. Another major difference, like the key difference here, Sirik, between us and what's already there is that our currency is distributed by our people. So there's no centralized entity, including myself, who is distributing these keys. We are all voting on where these keys should go and why and to who and in what amounts. So it really is a currency by us for us. And every person who comes in, they can help decide. And it's part of the shared intention here that we issue our currency in rounds. So right now we're dealing with only 11 million currency. We'll eventually issue another 11 million and then decide on what to do with it. But basically from here into the next year or two, we're going to be slowly releasing currency to eco communities and humanitarian organizations. And that adds incentive for people to want to be a vote holder because then they get to decide what's the next eco community or humanitarian organization or business that gets sponsored by our economy.
Dakota, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between the keys and the Wave platform and Bitcoin or Ether? Or is it one and the same?
I'd say one of the major differences between Bitcoin, Ether, and this currency is that it's almost all of the Bitcoins and Ether went to technology industry people. Like 90% of all the coins are being held by rich, elite technology people. And our currency is owned by us, and we have all of it, and we have it already. We don't need to like go and do things for these other guys to get the currency to redistribute. We have it already. That's major difference.
But we also have what we have. We have our skills. We have our whatever it is we're doing, our profession. We have our lands. We have our eco communities. So we're taking all that, and then we're saying, so rather than using USD, rather than using Bitcoin, rather than using Ethereum, forget that. We are going to create our own economy. We are going to
our own currency. Mm-hmm.
Create our own. So one that creates an agreement between us, the people that want to participate with that cuts us off from, the idea is cutting us off from the influence of any central exchanges or
I feel like there's a lot of worry.
Yeah.
So whether it's fiat currency or not, I think we're forgetting the goal. The main intention behind this project is to actually help humanity. One way to help it in a time, for number one, just connecting the dots between all humanitarian organizations, with that currency being the center of it, that by itself is a massive influence. So maybe it's not intended to be the main currency of the world, but step one of it is it's gonna connect to the humanitarian companies, just people that are willing to, that want to help the world. So if we move forward with that intention, personally, I believe that the universe has no choice but to pay back. So chances are we will get money, but I don't think that can be the main intention or the main purpose, at least in the first short run. And honestly, I don't see it going up to $4. I believe that it has infinite potential. What's Bitcoin at right now? Bitcoin's at $3,700 a coin. I was going to buy Bitcoin when it was $20 a coin.
I had 50 Bitcoin back when it was worth less than $1 back in 2012.
Wow.
Yeah.
But, we spent it on whatever at the time, but.
If I may.
Yes. Greetings.
It seems to me that the major difference here is what you're dealing with is the one true resource we have, which is our time and labor. This is the only thing we come into this world with and the only thing we go out with. And if we are devoting that time and labor to the community, for the community, then the community prospers and then you can spread out from there. But, you know, if we honor our own time and energy within the community, that gives validity to the coin rather than tangible assets. And I yield.
You got it. Well put, Stash. Thank you.
I agree. There's so many things that we don't look at as value that are value. And like our time is our value. We're trading for currency. And then we have land and we have all these different things. And that's the great thing about just, you know, Bitcoin and just different, you know, currencies that are online, is that now we can take that and say, okay, well, what are we putting value to it? And I think this is going to grow into something great, because then people are going to start looking at, hey, we're only supporting businesses that are eco-friendly and these kinds of things. And so it gives them even more incentive to only spend their money where people are accepting keys because they've been vetted. And so, yeah, this is going to grow huge. And I just see that we're at the forefront of something that we knew we were going to be a part of. And so that's why we're here. Like, that's how I'm feeling.
If I may make one more point too, is that one of the things about basing this on our time and energy is that it is tangible. And I've always had reservations about carrot bars, Bitcoins, whatever, because in my considered opinion and researched opinion, they are nothing but vaporware. If the technology dies, the coin dies. But the members here will continue on serving each other rather than, you know, fretting over losing something that's out in the middle of nowhere that you have no recourse to go back and try and recoup. You know, you can go to the members of ASC and say, look, I have so much credit and you agreed to honor it. I need your services. Will you exchange it? That's great. That's right there. That's person to person. And that in itself is international trade. Bitcoin and those others are international commerce, which is something we don't want to be involved in, because that's the corporate, same old Rothschild's game of fractional banking that we don't want to be. Somebody controls the unit. In this sense, we control the unit, not anybody else. So that's with that, I yield.
Thank you, brother. I want to expand on that for a second, and what Nikki Wilkes wrote in here about it being a moral currency. Also what Brandon said, where if anyone is using these keys, they got them by helping the planet. We are only issuing these keys to communities and organizations that are benefiting the planet. And if someone got the key, that means they worked with one of these groups to make this world into a better place. So if you're spending them or you're receiving them, you know that they came from a good place and are going to a good place as well.
I'd love to just say a little bit of an idea that I had before even being involved with this. And I was just saying that what we would have is a collective basically voting on things that we saw were valuable to spend money on. So let's say as this grows and there's so many people, millions of people using it, and we're like, hey, we need to clean up the water over here that's all, you know, been, you know, made undrinkable or whatever. And we say, hey, this is really valuable. This needs to be done. And so what we'd actually do is maybe either give some sort of rewards point system for spending money in that area because people voted and said that's where we want people to spend more money on, or somehow make the currency worth more by using it in that manner. And I kind of just see that this concept is sort of coming together in a way already, but I can just see it directing in the future of people spending more money, seeing that where we're voting, where we want people to spend is going to then increase the value of the money, or maybe give point systems that then allow something along those lines.
So I'd like to expand on that a little bit. So once we move through our initial 100 million keys, our transaction fees, as well as a tithing amount that we can set as a people, from every time someone buys and uses their keys, part of the money, 11 to 20%, like old paradigm taxes, goes back into the center wealth stewardship pool that's then redistributed out. So when we want to see like a lake cleaned up, we just allocate 100,000 keys or 1 million keys or however many keys we need, and we get all of the resources and all the people and we make it happen. And we constantly have more money coming back to the center for us to redistribute out to make this planet a better place for all of us, which is a key difference from letting some federal government try to do that for us. We get to decide where our taxes or our tithings go. And I advocate using it to clean this planet up and to unconditionally provide for every living human. I think this system could be a solution for us to completely end all forms of poverty and tyranny on this planet. And it's something that the old stewards can actually see. They can measure it. They can value it. And so we're going to have more respect as a planetary movement from the Rothschilds and all these groups that came before us. And right now, we don't really have that respect. And I think that this is the mechanism to gain that respect, to give us the power to really change this planet in the way that actually everyone wants. Everybody wants a better planet. A lot of the guys up in the top fields, they feel trapped by the very system they're inside, and they can't change it from the inside. But they'll say yes to us changing it from the outside with this. I fully believe that.
Oh, am I able to say something and ask a question, Dakota?
Yes, go for it, Destiny.
Thank you. One, I'd like to say that I feel like I've been put on a pending mode to actually get involved with a lot more of what I'm capable of by spirit until this actually came to play. I've spent like the last 2.5 years working primarily for just manifestation. So it's like I've been working for no physical currency and traveling, and then because I've been putting my energy into working on whatever it was that was in front of me that I felt was worthy of a good cause to make the world a better place, then all of a sudden if I needed food or I needed shelter or I needed an item, the universe would just provide it for me through manifestation. So for me, this is kind of just like an even like easier direct route to be able to do that. And I was quite happy working for the universe to repay me whatever I needed just directly. But I think that this is something that's going to be able to take that to a whole nother level. And I think it's really great. I've been doing bits and pieces with the ASC for, I think it's probably about 8 months now since I've been traveling. And for me, I think this is exactly what a lot of people have been waiting for, and it's all coming together. And I'm really excited to connect with all of you and have this finally, what we've been waiting for, help to like piece all of the little puzzle pieces together. I know so many different groups that I've spoken to, some of which are part of the ASC, some of which aren't, who have like been waiting for the same thing. They've just been sitting around like looking for stuff out there, never really finding what this is. So I'm really excited. And the other thing about this is, like anything in life, we will get out of this what we choose to and what we put in. And we're all valuable on our own with nothing. When I've had many times while I've been traveling around the world where I've had a backpack and me and no money and no nothing, and my day has unfolded where clothes, food, shelter, money, and anything I needed has shown up out of nowhere because I believed in it and I gave things value to come to me. And this is exactly the same. And when we can let go of the fear of being in a state of survival, this is actually giving us the opportunity to step up and be like, well, hey, we're the authority. And that's what we're all waiting to do. This is the opportunity for us to be that authority, for us to choose, for us to reclaim that, which is naturally our birthright, for us to have the prosperity that we all deserve, for us to live and breathe our mission and our purpose and be able to create heaven on earth. And I'm really grateful for all of you being part of that. And I'm really happy and excited to see how everything unfolds in divine order. The questions that I have is, there is 2 to 3 different projects and or working groups that I'm wanting to get involved. The simple question is, I'm wanting to know what's the best way. 2 of them, one's a farm that's wanting to create sacred geometric patterns of permaculture, and the other is a food forest. I've got close connections to the owners of both, And one of the people who is a main role in the food forest, this is in Kauai, he has massive dreams and actually started and wants me to be involved in another intentional community in Kauai, but there was a few issues. Now, he's already interested. I mentioned a few things and he just wants more information. What is the best way to get this food forest and or his sustainable intentional community involved for him to get the best results?
Thank you for all of that, Destiny. ASC.ai/join will take you to our general entry portal. By signing up for that, you should immediately receive a response email that links to 8 other forums. One of them is a landowner forum. I would suggest he fill that out, and then he'll be contacted by one of our greeting team administrative peoples within a week, ideally. Also want to say, for those that are on the board, like a lot of these landowners won't say yes to receiving keys yet. That's basically what we're asking for, is if someone wants to play, they're choosing to receive keys for whatever it is they have to offer. And in this case, that would be land access and looks like food access as well. But basically, I'm encouraging us to wait a little bit before approaching land and business owners until we've built out our consultation and freelancing network. Because right now, there's a limit to what you can actually use your keys on. 2 of the most major things are free advertising and the abundance generators. But other than that, really building up freelancers so this farm can hire permaculture activists to develop his property with the keys that we give him would be a major incentive for him to participate. I also just wanted to add on to what you were saying before about like serving and trusting in the universe. The underlying part of this whole system is that we are creating a basic income for light workers. I know that we all give our time for free a lot. And with this system, now that we've generated hundreds of millions of dollars of value, we no longer have to work for free. We can all work for keys for each other, and we have close to a relatively unlimited amount of keys to award each other for our service to this planet. All right, I hear you on not being a light worker, whatever you want to call it, Sirik. But if you're here to do the good work and make this earth a better place, this is a basic income designed to support you and all of us as we do this good work on this planet Earth. Did that answer your question, Destiny?
Perfect. So in the meantime, it'd probably be really great for me to just start creating a list and a little network of people who I can send all the details to when it's the perfect go time.
You got it. And now that our website is online, it's a pretty good time for that. Speaking of which, if anyone here hasn't filled out their forum for a vote holder, please do that so I can get you guys added to the bottom of this website. It's an important part of building trust from anyone who looks at the website to really see the faces of the people behind it.
Can you post that link in the chat bar on Facebook, please, Dakota?
Yeah, it's ASC.ai. Very simple. We have posters and stickers and business cards now, too, designed by Patricia in here. Thank you, Patricia. Super appreciate that. Actually, want to just find a moment and show you guys, if you don't mind. So Adam Apollo is going to shape this up as well. And basically, we need a whole new video in here because this is just our old intro. We're going to put a 2-minute animated short of like keys and what's up with them. This is a nice, sweet little video. This links to our tutorial academy. And basically, I want to put all of us here. We're just going to have a long line of our vote holders, like right here, along with links to all the organizations we represent. All of these are hyperlinks, so there's a lot of really fun websites here, worth checking out. Also want to show you guys this. So this whole view is going to get dramatically updated, but it's working right now. We can add and view listings and even purchase services through this. And I would actually like some help uploading all of our information from our spreadsheets into this. If anyone wants to help with that, it's relatively time consuming, but I can get it done if I need to. The other element is this part. So people can download the Waves app here. They can purchase keys with crypto. They can purchase it with PayPal. They can join our economic system here. They can join other humanitarian organizations here, and then get free keys. And then this takes you over to where you can spend your keys. It's a pretty simple website, but that's the beauty of it, is it's a very complicated thing broken down into very simple steps. And especially when we have a 2-minute animated video up there, I think 8-year-olds will be able to understand it. And that's definitely our target. Is something so simple an 8-year-old can understand, and understand why as well.
I'm Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working with youth at the moment. We're doing job readiness projects for kids that are in year 9 and 10 that are wanting to get their first jobs, and we're doing resumes and teaching them how to dress without losing their identity and a whole heap of different things. How can we interact this so that they can better understand what this is all about? Because if we use the word light worker or something like that, they're just going to think, you know, we're crazy. Because I have a 16-year-old son, and he knows me extremely well. And then if I use other words, it goes, Mum, don't use that. Mum, that's so not cool. Please don't use that word. I was like, okay, well, what words can we use to get the next generation up so that they can really understand, you know, the ethics and the morals and the belief, the passion, the purpose around, you know, what's being created here, because I believe that this is just absolutely amazing. I'm also doing understanding money conferences for youth and their parents for past, present and future money in coming together so that the kids don't think that cash is king, because cash is not king. And what happens in 5 to 10 years' time when cash is gone? These kids don't have that knowledge, that understanding in and around what that looks like. So for me, I would love to be able to have a short video that is directed at the youth, so that when we hold our projects and our conferences, I can either get you to be live and bring you in to talk about it, and because you're young yourself, they would be able to relate to you a lot better. But yeah, we're going around Australia with this, so I would really, you know, and I'm very focused on it. It's my day-to-day stuff that I do. So if you need anything from me in and around that space, you just let me know. I can't hear you. You're still muted.
We're almost out of time. I'm going to launch another Zoom link right after this one, and we can re-pick up this conversation. Yeah, the video we're making is going to be animated and specifically targeted for kids too. So that's going to be helpful for what you're doing. Much love, my family. I'll see you all in the next Zoom meeting. Jai.
I'll just transfer that.